The sleek silver shuttle cut through the darkness of space. Inside, Hana Kim sat alone, her back straight and her eyes fixed on the mission details displayed on her wrist device. Her black uniform hugged her body, designed for both stealth and combat. She had short black hair, cut in a way that would never get in her eyes during a fight. Target, Do-hyun, human monk. Location, Temple of Eternal Flame, Planet Serenity. Hana read the words again, even though she had already memorized them. She never failed a mission. Ever. The year was 2789. Humans were no longer the powerful beings they once were. After the Great War, the Stellar Dominion had pushed them to the edges of the galaxy. Humans were considered weak now, primitive. A species that had once shown promise but ultimately failed to evolve properly. Hana was not exactly human anymore. She had been born human, but the Dominion had changed her when she was very young. They had made her stronger, faster, better. They had given her a purpose: to serve the Dominion and maintain order across the stars. The shuttle's computer spoke in a flat voice. Approaching Dominion Command Station, prepare for docking. Hana closed the mission file and stood up. She gathered her few belongings, she never carried much, and waited by the exit. When the door slid open, she stepped onto the busy station. Without hesitation, Commander Taiwan was waiting for her. He was tall for a Dominion officer with sharp features and cold eyes. Like Hana, he had once been human, but that was many years ago. "Agent Kim," he said with a small nod, "walk with me." They moved through the busy corridors of the station. Around them, various alien species from across the Dominion went about their business. Some looked at Hana with fear, others with respect. All knew what she was, an enforcer, one of the Dominion's most elite assassins. "Your target is unusual," Taiwan said as they entered a private briefing room. The door closed behind them with a soft hiss. "A human monk who calls himself Master Do-hyun." "What threat does a monk pose to the Dominion?" Hana asked. Her voice was calm and quiet. She never showed emotion. The Dominion had removed that weakness from her long ago. Taiwan activated the room's display system. The image of a simple man appeared. He wore plain clothes and had a peaceful face. He looked ordinary, which made Hana suspicious. Ordinary targets did not require someone of her skill. "This monk has been gathering followers," Taiwan explained. "He teaches them about ancient human abilities that the Dominion has worked hard to eliminate from human genetics." Hana raised an eyebrow. "Superstitions? Perhaps." Taiwan did not sound convinced. "But our intelligence suggests he may actually possess some of these abilities, and he is teaching others." "What abilities?" Hana asked. "Mental powers, energy manipulation, things that should be impossible for humans." Taiwan's voice became lower. "There are reports that he can move objects without touching them, that he can sense events happening across great distances, that he can resist our technology." Hana almost smiled. Almost. "Rumors and tricks, nothing more." "The Dominion Council does not share your confidence," Taiwan replied sharply. "This monk and his teachings are spreading. Some humans are beginning to resist their enhancements. Others are starting to question their place in the Dominion. This cannot be allowed." Hana understood now. It was not about the monk's supposed powers. It was about control. The Dominion had controlled humans for centuries by convincing them of their weakness, by enhancing their bodies while suppressing their minds. If this monk was giving humans hope, showing them another path, that made him dangerous. "Your mission is simple," Taiwan continued. "Travel to Serenity. Find this monk, eliminate him. Make it look like a natural death if possible. We do not want him becoming a martyr." "Understood," Hana said. She had killed hundreds for the Dominion. One more would make no difference. Taiwan handed her a small device. "This contains all the information we have on the target and the Temple of Eternal Flame. Study it carefully. The monk has followers who would die to protect him." Hana took the device. When do I leave? Immediately. A ship is prepared. Taewon looked at her closely. This mission is of the highest importance, Agent Kim. The council is watching. Hana nodded once. I will not fail. 3 days later, Hana stood on the surface of planet Serenity, breathing in the clean air. The planet was beautiful, with tall mountains and green valleys. It was one of the few places where humans and aliens lived together in some kind of peace, far from the direct control of the Dominion. Hana had changed her appearance. Gone was the black uniform. Now she wore simple traveling clothes like any pilgrim seeking wisdom. Her weapons were hidden, her enhancements concealed. To anyone looking, she was just another lost soul searching for answers. She stood on a hill, looking down at the Temple of Eternal Flame. It was smaller than she had expected, just a collection of simple buildings surrounded by gardens. There were no walls, no guards that she could see. It seemed completely unprotected. That will make my job easier, she thought. As she watched, people came and went from the temple freely. Some brought offerings, others simply sat in the gardens. There was a peacefulness to the place that Hana found strange. In her world, peace came from strength and control. This was different. She had studied everything about human monks during her journey. Their practices seemed primitive: meditation, fasting, physical exercises designed to focus the mind. None of it should give them any real power. Yet the Dominion feared this Dohyun enough to send her to kill him. Hana began walking down the path toward the temple. She would pose as a seeker, someone interested in the monk's teachings. She would get close to him, learn his routines, find his weaknesses. Then she would strike. As she walked, she recalled her training. She had been taken from her family when she was 5 years old. She had no memory of them now. The Dominion had become her family, had shaped her into the perfect weapon. She had never questioned her purpose before. Why start now? She asked herself. The path to the temple was well worn by many feet. As Hana got closer, she could see the famous eternal flame burning in the central courtyard, a fire that, according to local legend, had never gone out in over 200 years. A young man noticed her approach and smiled. "Welcome, traveler," he said. "Do you come seeking wisdom from Master Dohyun?" Hana smiled back, a fake expression she had practiced many times. "Yes," she lied smoothly. "I have heard much about him. They say he understands things that most have forgotten." The young man nodded eagerly. "He does. He has changed many lives, including mine." "I look forward to meeting him," Hana said. In her mind, she was already planning exactly how she would kill him. The young man introduced himself as Jiho and offered to show Hana around the temple grounds. She accepted with a fake smile. Every step she took, every person she saw, was carefully noted in her enhanced memory. She was mapping the temple, looking for security systems, escape routes, and the best place to strike. "How long have you been here?" Hana asked Jiho as they walked through a garden of strange blue flowers. 3 years, he answered proudly. "I came seeking answers and found more than I ever expected." Hana nodded as if interested. "And Master Dohyun, will I meet him soon?" Jiho laughed softly. "Master meets everyone in his own time, sometimes right away, sometimes after weeks of waiting. He says he meets people when they are ready, not when they want." This was a problem for Hana's mission timeline. The Dominion expected results quickly. She could not wait weeks. "Is there any way to let him know I've traveled very far to see him?" she asked, making her voice sound hopeful. Jiho shook his head. "Everyone here has traveled far in one way or another. But don't worry, the temple is open to all. You can stay as long as you need." He showed her to a small, simple room where she would sleep. It had a bed, a table, and a window looking out at the mountains. There were no locks on the door. The lack of security continued to surprise Hana. "The evening meal is served in the main hall at sunset," Jiho told her. "After that, most people gather to meditate. Will you join us?" "Of course," Hana said, though she had never meditated in her life. The Dominion saw it as a waste of time. When Jiho left, Hana quickly searched her room for listening devices or cameras. She found nothing. Then she unpacked her few belongings, including hidden weapons and equipment. One small device would send a signal to her ship when she completed her mission. Another held a poison that would kill without leaving a trace. She hid these things carefully, then went to explore the temple on her own. The Temple of Eternal Flame was bigger than it first appeared. Besides the main buildings, there were small living quarters, gardens, and meditation spaces spread across the hillside. People of different species walked about peacefully. Some worked in the gardens. Others sat in silence under trees. No one questioned Hana or seemed suspicious of her. In the center of the main courtyard burned the famous eternal flame. It rose from a stone bowl without any visible fuel source. Hana studied it carefully. It had to be some kind of technology, disguised as magic to impress simple minds. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of purple and orange, Hana made her way to the main hall for the evening meal. She sat at a long table with other visitors and residents. The food was simple but good: rice, vegetables, and some kind of protein that tasted better than it looked. Hana ate slowly, listening to conversations around her, gathering information. No one mentioned Do-hyun directly. They talked about teachings and practices as if afraid to speak his name out loud. After the meal, most people moved to a large open room for group meditation. Hana went with them, sitting cross-legged on a mat, copying what others did. She closed her eyes but kept her other senses alert. The meditation lasted an hour. Hana found it strangely difficult to sit still for so long. Her enhanced body was designed for action, not stillness. By the end, she felt an odd tension in her mind, like a muscle she had never used before. When night fully fell, Hana returned to her room and waited. 3 hours passed. The temple grew quiet as everyone went to sleep. This was her chance to explore more freely. She slipped out of her room without making a sound. The night was clear, with 3 small moons casting enough light to see by. Hana moved like a shadow through the grounds, testing doors, looking through windows, searching for Do-hyun's quarters. She found what looked like a more important building, near the back of the temple complex. It was no larger than the others but stood apart, a perfect place for the master of the temple. Hana approached carefully, checking for guards or alarms. There were none. The door wasn't even locked. This was too easy. Hana's training screamed that it was a trap. No one important would be so unprotected. She hesitated, then pushed the door open slightly. Inside was a simple room with a bed, a desk, and some books. But no one was there. She entered silently, searching for clues about Do-hyun. The desk held some old-fashioned paper books, real ones, not digital. Hana had never seen so many before. She picked one up carefully and opened it. The writing was in an ancient human language she didn't recognize. There were diagrams of the human body with strange lines and points marked on it. Another book showed positions for meditation and breathing, exercises. "Interesting reading, isn't it?" said a voice behind her. Hana spun around, instantly ready to fight. An old man stood in the doorway. He was small and thin with white hair and warm eyes. He wore simple clothes and carried a cup of some steaming drink. "I'm sorry," Hana said quickly, falling back on her cover story. "I couldn't sleep and was walking around. I didn't mean to intrude." The old man smiled. Those who search in the night often find more than they expected. He walked into the room and set his cup down. "I am Sung-min. I tend the outer grounds of the temple." "I'm Hana," she said, using her real name because fake names sometimes caused confusion. "I'm here to learn from Master Do-hyun." Sung-min looked at her in a way that made Hana uncomfortable, as if he could see through her disguise. "Those who come with death in their hearts often need the monk's wisdom most," he said quietly. Hana felt a chill run through her body. How could he know? She kept her face calm and confused like an innocent person would. "I don't understand," she said. Sung-min just smiled again. "Master Do-hyun will see you tomorrow morning after sunrise. This is not his room. It's our library. His space is much simpler." He gestured to the door. Now perhaps you should rest. The journey ahead is more difficult than the one behind. Hana bowed slightly and left, her mind racing. The old man knew something. Had her cover been blown already? Should she abort the mission? No, the Dominion did not accept failure. She would meet this monk tomorrow and complete her task. Back in her room, Hana lay on the bed but did not sleep. She planned her attack, considering all possibilities. She would need to be fast and decisive. Get close to Do-hyun, use the untraceable, poison, and leave before anyone realized what had happened. As the night deepened, Hana began to feel strange. Her mind kept slipping into memories she thought were long erased. Her childhood before the Dominion took her, a woman's face singing a soft song, the feeling of being held in warm arms. Hana sat up quickly, pushing the memories away. These were weaknesses. She had no past, only the mission. She forced her mind to focus again on killing Do-hyun. But as the first light of dawn appeared at her window, Hana felt something she had never experienced before on any mission. Doubt. Morning came with golden light streaming through Hana's window. She had prepared herself through the night, pushing away the strange memories and doubts. Her hand checked the small poison device hidden in her sleeve. One touch against human skin, and death would follow within minutes. It would look natural, like a sudden heart failure. A soft knock came at her door. "The master will see you now," said Jiho's voice. Hana took a deep breath and opened the door. Jiho stood there smiling, unaware he was leading an assassin to his teacher. "This way," he said. Hana followed him through the temple grounds. People were already awake, tending gardens or practicing slow, flowing movements in groups. No one paid much attention to her. They walked to a small building set apart from the others, overlooking a garden of white stones arranged in circular patterns. "Wait here," Jiho said, pointing to a bench. "Master Do-hyun is finishing his morning meditation." Hana sat down, looking, calm on the outside while her enhanced senses took in everything around her. The building had only one entrance. There were 2 windows. No guards, no visible technology. It would be easy to kill the monk and escape through the garden to the woods beyond. After 10 minutes, Jiho returned and motioned for her to enter. "He is ready for you." Hana stood up, feeling the weight of the weapon against her wrist. She would need to get close to Do-hyun, a simple bow perhaps, bringing her hand near his face or neck. Then a quick touch, and the mission would be complete. She walked through the door into a simple room. There was little furniture, just a low table, some cushions, and a mat on the floor. A man sat on the mat with his back to her, facing a window that looked out onto the garden. He wore plain gray clothes and had short black hair. "Please sit," the man said without turning around. His voice was neither deep nor high, but somehow it filled the room. Hana moved carefully to a cushion across from him and sat down. She arranged, her body to appear relaxed while keeping her right hand, the one with the poison device, ready to strike. "You have traveled far," the man said, still not facing her. "Yes," Hana replied. "I seek wisdom." The lie came easily to her lips. "No," the man said, "you seek death." Before Hana could respond, the man turned around. Master Do-hyun was younger than she expected, perhaps in his 40s. His face was neither handsome nor plain, but there was something about his eyes. They seemed to look through her rather than at her. "The Dominion sends its finest to silence what cannot be silenced," he said calmly. Hana's body tensed. Her cover was blown. Without hesitation, she attacked, lunging across the space between them with enhanced speed. Her hand reached for his neck, the poison device ready. But Do-hyun was no longer there. Somehow he had moved aside without seeming to move at all. Hana's attack met empty air. She recovered instantly, spinning around to face him. "How did you know?" she demanded. Do-hyun stood calmly, his hands relaxed at his sides. "Your purpose is written in your movements, in your eyes, in the way you breathe." Hana attacked again, this time with a series of strikes that would have disabled any normal human. Do-hyun avoided each one with minimal movement, as if he could predict what she would do before she did it. "Your enhancements give you strength," he said, not even breathing hard. But they've disconnected you from the true power that flows through all living beings. Anger flashed through Hana. She had never failed a mission, never met anyone who could match her speed. She reached for her backup weapon, a small energy blade hidden in her belt. The Dominion fears what they do not understand, Do-hyun continued as Hana circled him. They fear what humans might become if we remembered our true nature. Humans are weak, Hana said, slashing with the energy blade. It hummed as it cut through the air. The Dominion made me better. Do-hyun stepped back from the blade, still, moving with that impossible grace. Did they? Or did they simply make you useful to them? Hana pressed her attack using every technique she had been taught. Do-hyun defended himself but never struck back. He simply wasn't where her attacks went, as if he occupied a slightly different space than she did. Why don't you fight back? She demanded, growing frustrated. Violence only creates more violence, he replied. I have no wish to harm you. Hana laughed bitterly. I came here to kill you. You came here because you were sent, Do-hyun corrected her. But why are you here? Now, Hana Kim, what do you truly seek? The sound of her full name startled her. She had only given her first name to Jiho. How did this monk know who she was? Hana reached into another hidden pocket and pulled out her final weapon, a neural disruptor. It was small but powerful, designed to overload any living creature's nervous system. It would cause pain beyond imagining before death. The Dominion wants you dead, she said, aiming the device at him. And what do you want? Do-hyun asked. The question caught her off guard. What did she want? No one had ever asked her that before. Hana had been a weapon for so long, she had forgotten how to want anything for herself. She pushed the thought away and fired the neural disruptor. The energy bolt shot toward Do-hyun. He raised one hand, and to Hana's amazement, the energy curved around him like water around a stone. It dissipated harmlessly against the wall behind him. That's impossible, Hana whispered. Only because you were told it was impossible, Do-hyun replied. Humans once routinely manipulated energy fields with their minds, before the Dominion, before the enhancements, before they made us forget. Hana fired again and again, but each time, Do-hyun redirected the energy. She had never seen anything like it. It broke everything she had been taught about physics, about what was possible. Finally, she dropped the weapon, exhausted and confused. For the first time in her life as an assassin, she had failed completely. What are you? She demanded. Do-hyun smiled gently. Just a human who remembers what we once were. He stepped closer to her. What you could be again. Hana backed away until she hit the wall. She had no more weapons, no more plans. The Dominion would punish her for this failure. They might even terminate her. Fear and emotion she rarely felt began to creep into her mind. Are you going to kill me now? She asked. Do-hyun looked surprised. No. Why would I? All life is precious, even the life of one sent to end mine. Then what will you do with me? That depends on you, he said. You can leave this place and return to your masters. Tell them you failed. Accept whatever punishment they give you. Hana knew what that would mean. The Dominion did not tolerate failure. Or, Do-hyun continued, you can stay and learn why the Dominion fears human potential so much. Why they changed you, limited you when they claimed to be improving you. Why would you offer that to someone who tried to kill you? Hana asked, suspicious. Do-hyun smiled. Because every being deserves the chance to discover their true self. Even Dominion assassins. Hana stared at him. Nothing in her training had prepared her for this situation. She should retreat, report to Commander Tae-won, await new orders. Instead, she heard herself ask, what did you mean about humans once manipulating energy? Do-hyun's smile widened. Stay, and I will show you. Hana sat across from Do-hyun in the garden of white stones. The morning sun warmed her skin as she tried to understand what was happening. She had failed to kill the monk. She should be reporting back to the Dominion. Instead, she was listening, to him curious despite herself. The Dominion has ruled for 300 years, Do-hyun said. They came as friends at first, offering technology and help. But they feared human potential. What potential? Hana asked. Humans are weaker than most species in the Dominion. Do-hyun smiled. Are we? Or is that what they wanted us to believe? He picked up a small white stone from the garden and placed it on his open palm. Hana watched carefully, ready for any trick. Slowly, the stone began to rise above his hand. It floated in the air without anything touching it. Simple telekinesis, Do-hyun explained. Children used to learn this before they could walk. The Dominion called it impossible, then made it impossible by changing human genetics. Hana stared at the floating stone. It's a trick, hidden technology. Is it? Do-hyun held his empty hands wide. Search me if you wish. Search this entire temple. You will find no technology that could do this. The stone gently floated back down to his palm. He offered it to Hana. Keep it. Examine it. It's just a stone. Hana took the stone cautiously. It felt ordinary, cool and smooth in her hand. She had been trained to detect any kind of technology, and she found nothing unusual about the stone. Come, Do-hyun said, standing up. There are others you should meet. Hana followed him through the temple grounds to a building she hadn't noticed before. Inside, people worked with various equipment. It looked like a research lab, but much simpler than what the Dominion used. A woman looked up from a workstation and smiled at Do-hyun. She was older, with streaks of gray in her black hair. Master, you've brought a new friend, she said. Yoonji, this is Hana, Do-hyun replied. She was sent by the Dominion to kill me. Hana tensed, expecting the woman to call for guards or show fear. Instead, Yoonji laughed. Another one? That's the third this year. She looked at Hana with kind eyes. Welcome. The first is always the hardest. The first what? Hana asked. The first day of your new life, Yoonji answered. She turned to Do-hyun. Shall I show her the archives? Do-hyun nodded. She needs to understand what was taken from her. Yoonji led Hana to a room filled with old books, screens, and storage devices. I was a genetic scientist for the Dominion for 20 years, she explained. I worked on human enhancement programs, believing I was helping our species evolve. She activated a screen that showed a strand of DNA. This is original human DNA from before the Dominion arrived, Yoonji said. And this, she swiped to show another strand, is what human DNA looks like after Dominion enhancements. Hana studied the images. The second strand had obvious additions, but also something else. There are sections missing, she observed. Yes, Yoonji said, looking impressed. The Dominion didn't just add to our genetic code. They removed key sequences that allowed for abilities they couldn't control. She showed Hana more. Screens, more data. Records of human abilities dating back thousands of years. People moving objects with their minds. Healing terrible wounds with a touch. Communicating over vast distances without technology. I thought these were just myths, Hana said. The Dominion wanted you to think that, Yoonji replied. They erased our history, changed our biology, and told us we were being improved. A man entered the room. He was tall and muscular with a serious face that softened when he saw Do-hyun. Master, he said with a small bow. Young-soo, meet Hana, Do-hyun said. She's newly arrived from the Dominion. Young-soo looked at Hana carefully. An enforcer, he said. I can tell by your movements. I was a Dominion soldier for 15 years. Hana's hand moved instinctively toward a weapon that was no longer there. Young-soo noticed and smiled. You don't need to fear me. We're the same. You and I. Both changed by the Dominion, both finding our way back to what we truly are. How did you leave the Dominion? Hana asked. No one left Dominion service. It was impossible. Master Do-hyun helped me remove my neural controls, Young-soo explained. The implants that ensure loyalty, that punish independent thought. You have them too, though you may not know it. Hana's hand went to the back of her neck. There was a small bump there, something she had been told was part of her enhancement system. It monitors your thoughts, Young-soo said. If you think too much about escape or rebellion, it causes pain or confusion. If you actually try to run, it can kill you. Hana looked at Do-hyun. Is this true? The monk nodded. The Dominion trusts no one, especially those they make into weapons. Hana felt cold anger building inside her. Had her entire life been a lie? Had she been nothing but a controlled tool, believing she served a greater purpose? I need proof, she said firmly. Do-hyun looked at Young-soo, who nodded and left the room. He returned minutes later with an old scanner. It looked like medical equipment, but cruder than what the Dominion used, may I? Young-soo asked, holding up the scanner. Hana hesitated, then nodded. Young-soo moved the device over her head and neck. A screen lit up showing a small object embedded at the base of her skull. Neural control implant, standard enforcer model, Young-soo said. I had one just like it. Hana stared at the image. Something inside her that had always accepted the Dominion's authority began to crack. If what you're saying is true, she said slowly, why hasn't the implant activated? Why am I able to question the Dominion now? The temple is protected, Do-hyun explained. We generate an energy field that blocks the implant's signals. Outside these walls, your doubts would cause you pain. Hana sat down, feeling overwhelmed. Everything she had been taught, everything she had believed in was being challenged. I should report back, she said, more to herself than to the others. Commander Taewon is expecting results. And what will you tell him? Do-hyun asked gently. Hana didn't answer. She couldn't complete her mission, but failing to return would mark her as a traitor. You don't have to decide right now, Do-hyun said. Stay with us for a few days, learn more, then choose your path. That night, Hana lay awake in her room, her mind racing. She had secretly sent a message to Commander Taewon, telling him she needed more time to gain the monk's trust before killing him. It wasn't exactly a lie. She did need more time, but not for the reason she gave. She wanted to know if what they told her was true. Could humans really have abilities beyond what the Dominion allowed? Had she been shaped into a weapon without her consent, her true potential suppressed? As she finally drifted toward sleep, Hana heard something strange. It seemed like singing, but not from any person. It was as if the stars themselves were singing to each other across the void of space. The melody was beautiful and alien at the same time. She sat up, looking out her window at the night sky. The singing continued, filling her mind with colors and feelings she had no names for. There was a soft knock at her door. When she opened it, Do-hyun stood there. You hear them, don't you? He asked. The stars. How did you know? Hana whispered. Because you're beginning to remember what it means to be fully human, Do-hyun said. These aren't dreams or hallucinations, Hana. They're your natural senses awakening. He looked at her with gentle eyes. Rest now. Tomorrow, we begin to undo what the Dominion has done to you. 5 days passed. Hana stayed at the temple, learning from Do-hyun, Yoonji, and Young-soo. Each day brought new revelations about human potential and Dominion lies. Each night her senses grew stronger. She could now hear the songs of stars clearly. She could feel the energy flowing through living things. Once she even managed to move a small pebble with her mind, though the effort left her exhausted. Do-hyun worked with her daily, teaching her to meditate, to find the quiet center within, herself where these abilities lived. Young-soo helped her understand the neural implant in her neck and how to resist its influence. Yoonji showed her more records of human abilities that had been hidden for centuries. Hana knew she should return to the Dominion. Her message to Commander Taewon had bought her time, but not much. Still, she found herself drawn to the teachings, to the possibility that she could be more than a weapon. On the morning of the 6th day, Hana sat in meditation with Do-hyun in the garden. Her mind was calmer now, able to focus in ways she never could before. She could sense Do-hyun's presence. Without opening her eyes, could feel the life energy in the plants around them. You are learning quickly, Do-hyun said. Hana opened her eyes. The Dominion will come for me soon. I told them I needed time to gain your trust, but they will grow suspicious. Do-hyun nodded. What will you do when they come? It was the question that had kept Hana awake at night. She had spent her life serving the Dominion. To turn against them would mean becoming a traitor, hunted across the galaxy. But to return meant denying what she was learning about herself, about human potential. "I don't know," she admitted. "When the time comes, you will know," Do-hyun said with certainty. They finished their meditation and walked back toward the main temple buildings. As they approached, Young-soo ran to meet them, his face tight with concern. "Master, Dominion ships have entered orbit," he reported. 3 cruisers. They're sending shuttles down. Do-hyun remained calm. "How much time do we have?" "Minutes only," Young-soo said. "They're landing beyond the North Ridge." Hana felt cold fear grip her heart. "It's too many ships for a simple follow-up. They're coming in force." She looked at Do-hyun. "You need to leave now, they'll kill you." Do-hyun shook his head. "I will not abandon my students. Tell everyone to gather in the main hall." Young-soo hurried away. Do-hyun turned to Hana. "You must decide now, Hana Kim. Are you Dominion or are you human?" Before she could answer, there was a distant sound of energy weapons. Smoke rose from the edge of the temple grounds. Dominion forces had arrived. Hana followed Do-hyun to the main hall. Temple residents rushed inside, some looking frightened, others determined. Do-hyun moved among them, speaking calmly, reassuring. "Them. We have prepared for this day," he told them. "Remember your training. Remember who you truly are." Hana watched in amazement as the people organized themselves. Some helped the elderly and children move to protected inner rooms. Others took up positions at windows and doors, not with weapons, but with focused expressions that reminded her of Do-hyun when he had deflected her neural disruptor. Do-hyun approached her. "You should go. Meet your commander. Return to the life." "You knew." "They'll kill everyone here," Hana said. "Perhaps," Do-hyun admitted. "But ideas cannot be killed so easily. What we've learned, what we've remembered about human potential, is already spreading across the galaxy." The doors to the main hall burst open. Commander Taewon strode in, followed by a squad of Dominion soldiers in full battle armor. Their weapons were drawn and aimed at Do-hyun. "Agent Kim," Taewon said, his cold eyes finding Hana. "Your reports were incomplete." Hana stepped forward, her face carefully blank. "Commander, the situation required careful study." Taewon looked around the hall at the calm faces of the temple residents. "And what have you learned from your careful study?" "That the target is more complex than we believed," Hana said. Taewon smiled without warmth. "Indeed. Complex enough that the council sent me personally to resolve the situation." He turned to Do-hyun. "The monk who teaches forbidden knowledge. The human who believes he can challenge the Dominion." Do-hyun bowed slightly. "Commander Taewon, you are welcome here, as all seekers are." "I am not here as a seeker," Taewon said sharply. "I am here to end this." He looked back at Hana. "Complete your mission, Agent Kim. Kill the monk and prove your loyalty." This was the moment of choice. Hana felt everyone's eyes on her. The Dominion soldiers waited for her to obey. Do-hyun watched her calmly, without fear. The temple residents looked at her with something like hope. "No," Hana said quietly. Taewon's eyes narrowed. "What did you say?" "I said no." Hana's voice grew stronger. "I will not kill him." "Then you are a traitor," Taewon hissed. He raised his hand toward the soldiers. "Kill them both." As the soldiers raised their weapons, Hana moved. Her Dominion training combined with what she had learned at the temple. She flowed across the space like water, faster than she had ever moved before. She reached Do-hyun just as the soldiers fired. Using her body as a shield, Hana prepared for pain. But instead she felt a strange energy flow through her. The energy bolts seemed to slow down. With a thought, she pushed back, and the bolts changed direction, hitting the walls harmlessly. "Impossible," Taewon whispered. Around the hall, the temple residents were doing the same, deflecting energy fire with their minds. The Dominion soldiers backed away in confusion and fear. Taewon drew his own weapon and aimed it directly at Do-hyun. "This ends now." He fired. The bolt tore through the air. Do-hyun moved to protect Yoonji, who stood nearby. The energy hit him in the chest and he fell. "No," Hana screamed. She turned on Taewon, rage and grief filling her. "You can kill me too," she said, "but you can't stop what's happening. Humans are remembering who they are." Taewon aimed his weapon at her. "Then you can die knowing you failed to protect him, traitor." But before he could fire, Young-soo and other temple defenders overwhelmed the Dominion forces. Taewon was disarmed and forced to his knees. Hana rushed to Do-hyun's side. He lay on the floor, his breathing shallow, a burning wound in his chest. "Master," she said, taking his hand. "Hold on. We'll help you." Do-hyun looked at her with fading eyes. "This body is just a vessel, Hana. What matters is that you found your true self." "Don't talk," Hana said. Tears filled her eyes. She had never cried before. "Save your strength." Yoonji knelt beside them. "The wound is too severe. Even with our abilities, I don't know if we can heal this." Hana felt something break inside her. All her Dominion training, all the walls around her emotions crumbled away. She couldn't let Do-hyun die. Not when he had shown her the truth. Not when he had given her back herself. She placed her hands over his wound, not knowing what she was doing but somehow knowing what to do. She closed her eyes and reached deep within, finding the energy that flowed through all living things. "Help me," she whispered to the others. Young-soo and Yoonji placed their hands on her shoulders. Other temple residents formed a circle around them. Hana felt their energy flowing into her, through her, into Do-hyun. Light glowed between her fingers. Do-hyun's wound began to close. His breathing strengthened. His eyes focused again. When it was done, Hana sat back, exhausted but filled with wonder. Do-hyun sat up slowly, touching his healed chest in amazement. "You did what even I could not do," he said to Hana. "We did it together," she replied. Later, as the temple defenders secured the Dominion soldiers, Do-hyun revealed his final secret to Hana. "I've been spreading the knowledge of human potential throughout the galaxy," he said. "There are now thousands of awakened humans in key positions throughout Dominion space. Today's attack will only accelerate our plans." "What plans?" Hana asked. "2. Free humanity," Do-hyun said simply. "Not through war or violence, but by awakening what the Dominion tried to suppress." Hana looked out at the setting sun, thinking of the future ahead. She had been sent to kill a monk, but instead had found herself. She had knelt at his feet, not in submission, but in the act of healing. Of creation, rather than destruction. "What, now?" she asked. Do-hyun smiled. "Now you choose your path. There are many who need to learn what you have learned." 2 weeks later, Hana sat in meditation beside Do-hyun. Her former weapons were laid aside forever. Outside the temple gates, new pilgrims arrived seeking wisdom. Among them, Hana sensed, were disguised Dominion agents just as she once had been. "They come seeking death," Do-hyun observed. Hana opened her eyes and smiled. "And we'll find life instead."